Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. Yesterday, before the game, I predicted a draw, and I was totally right. That was also the only thing that I was right about, because it was not the draw that I was actually having in my mind. Juventus actually did well. I will be totally unpopular. I believe, and I'm convinced about it, that if we insist a bit, we don't miss a lot to become a big team, not only in Italy, but also in Europe. Yesterday, I'm convinced about it after rewatching the game, after analyzing the game, that Juventus delivered a beautiful performance, a solid performance. It was a reaction to some games in lately that we were not doing really well. He will tell me, Pep, are you totally crazy? We drew against Lille, 1-1. Not enough for you. And you are also correct. Of course, we'll speak about the good things. We'll speak about the bad things with images. I know that you appreciated it a lot last time, and also that thank you for the comments that you wrote under the last analysis of the game. I believe it was Juve Parma that we did like that. You said, Beppe, we really like that format, so please continue. And here we will see what we did well, what we didn't do well on goals conceded on some moments of the game. But also speaking about Thiago Motta, what he did well, what he needs to improve, like for example the subs that created a lot of chaos. I want to speak about one sub in particular, one moment in particular, and no, it's not that much the one of Dusan Vlahovic. I will also defend partially Cabal, and also speaking well about the game of Cope Miners that according to me played a really intelligent game. So a lot of things to say in today's video. You see that I'm speaking probably a bit slower or lower tone. It's because my neck, my back hurts really a lot, so it's really painful to record the video today. So if you have a bit of pity of Beppe, please put a maximum of like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because now we start. We open really fast the 3 pages to just understand the mood in Italy. Well, in Italy, and it's correct like that, they are all speaking about Real Madrid 1, Milan 3. They won 3-0 with Fonseca that said it was sometimes more difficult to play in Italy against Monza than to play against Real Madrid. And in a way, honestly, I understand what he wants to explain, what he's actually saying. What about Juve? Well, on Corriere dello Sport, you're seeing that Vlahovic scores, again Dusan Vlahovic, but we break. Juventus break because a draw is of course a stop. Gazzetta dello Sport more or less the same, it's a draw and we have regrets. While on the other side, Tutto Sport is going with Il Milan spacca, Milan, they knock Real Madrid, Juventus is liked. Attenzione, because what I'm reading online, well, there are a lot of people who are not liking the fact that we drew yesterday, that in a lot of moments we were slow, that we conceded a goal, the stupid goal that we are conceding. I see a lot of criticism towards Cabal, Vlahovic, Cope Manners, Thiago Motta that didn't understand the second half. I see a lot of criticism. So is that Juve liked? Yes or no? I told you personally that the Juve that I watched yesterday and this morning again, I liked it. I like the performance, even if, you know it, I am a Juventino and I want to win. If it's a result that is other than a win, I am never satisfied. If yesterday we were perfect, probably would have gone home again with the 3 points, which at the end, it didn't happen. Thiago Motta is exactly the same as me. He says, yes, I'm smiling, but half a smile. I like the performance. We are on the right way. That's the way that we need to continue on. Of course, I wanted to win, and if we don't win, we cannot be happy, especially if we are looking at the remaining part of the Champions League. We'll come back on that on a second. But if you don't believe me with words, look at the stats. Juventus, in terms of performance, yesterday they delivered something really big. 3rd best performance in terms of the dribbles that you are doing, in terms of carrying the ball while dribbling. 3rd best performance. 2nd best performance in terms of succeeded dribbles. 4th best performance in terms of total touches. 4th best performance in terms of progressive passes. 3rd best performance in terms of touches in the last third offensively, but also the best, and that was the very best game that we did in terms of the passes that we conceded in our box. So defensively, you know how much? 0. Lille was never able to do one single pass into our box. And then the 3rd best game in terms of passes conceded in the last third. So you see that Juventus, in terms of stats of the game, really played a really beautiful game. But of course, when you draw, you have a lot of regrets. And on that one, I agree with Gazzetta dello Sport, because you need to always check at the context. And if you are winning 15 games and you draw like that against Lille, probably we accept it way more, much better, and we can also put it into context. Now, the thing is that Juventus in 2024, we are already at our 17th draw. which is the most of the 5 top leagues, which is a lot. 17 draws are really excessive, really too much. We come back from a win against Udinese, but don't forget before that, a draw against Parma, a draw against Inter, a loss against Stuttgart. I told you, if we really want to go with that step higher, to become that big team that I told you in the beginning of the intro, Juventus will need at a certain moment to win more than 2 games in a row. You cannot win max 1, max 2 games and then stopping and again starting from scratch, because then we have now Torino, it will be Milan, Aston Villa. Some big games are awaiting Juve before Christmas. So Juventus will need to do extremely well. I'm not sure if this Juventus at the moment, because of the predictability, because of being slow, because of the fact that we don't win, as simple as that, is able to put 5 wins in a row. And if we want to transform like a butterfly, from a worm to a butterfly, if we really want that, we'll need at a certain moment to put them in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and maybe even more. And we start against Torino, because don't forget, Inter against Napoli this weekend. One of them, if not the 2, they will drop points. We need to be there. Anyway, before going into detail, the analysis with the images, etc., guys, honestly, what is also fearing a lot of Juventini and anger a lot of Juventini is the fact that we are fearing that we are not only out of the top 8, but also that the top 24 is at risk, because we know that we are playing against Aston Villa in Birmingham, then it's Manchester City, then it's Bruges away. That will not be a simple game, I already tell you. And then the last game against Benfica, that is always reminding us a lot of nightmares, unfortunately. Look, the project, I still believe in it. I still believe in it more than ever, because really yesterday we were slow, we were predictable, there were a lot of things that we needed to be better, but we have a young team. And yesterday we were at a certain moment also a bit unlucky. That fantastic save of the goalkeeper on Dusan Vlahovic, 2 goals that were correctly cancelled offside, but that could have unlocked Cope Miners faster than what it is. Yesterday, Juventus, the dominance of the game. We had a lot of great things with a lot of young players. Look, Locatelli is the perfect image of a player that was criticized by a lot last season. Yesterday, Thuram, but also Locatelli, they were kind of man of the match for Juve. Locatelli has been totally transformed. That's the image that we need to keep in mind. Locatelli, but a Conceição, a Cabal, a Savona, a Yildiz, that youth that is starting a new project with a young coach that is Thiago Motta, that did some good things, some bad things. Yesterday, the good things of Thiago Motta, I tell you them immediately. It's the fact that it shows up the best lineup to start with. Perfect lineup. Perfect lineup. He prepared the game perfectly. He fired up the team immediately from the start, but also he was able to do it at the start of the second half. If you're looking at the momentum, that's where you see it. That Juventus actually, if you're looking really at the momentum, we dominated the entire game. We obliged Lille to stay back. And to go only with their lethal weapon, that is the counter-attack. This is a lethal weapon. This is a plan that they build up, but it's also something that they have on top of other things. Well, the other things, Lille, we didn't see them because the plan of Thiago Motta yesterday. We totally cancelled Jonathan David except of that goal that he scores. Of course, I think that Thiago Motta, if you're looking at the momentum, the stats, the way of playing, he prepared it really, really well. But of course, he did something that were not correct. Like, for example, he didn't understand the subs. I will tell you that he created confusion with these subs. First of all, I don't like, and you know it since the era of Sarri, the 3 subs simultaneously, if it's not at halftime. Why? Because a lot of time, more than not, it's creating confusion for a few minutes. And sometimes it's creating confusion until the end of the game. Look, yesterday he did a McKennie-Thuram, and according to me, this one made totally no sense. I was in favor of playing McKennie from the start. Luckily, I'm not the coach. Thuram was not, wow, perfect in the first half, even if he did a lot of dirty work, but he was a player that was growing in the second half. He had, according to me, still a lot of fuel. He was doing a really big work there in the middle of the field, actually unlocking Locatelli to be the player that he was yesterday because of the dirty work of Kefren Thuram. you will see a different Locatelli when he's not in charge of doing that dirty work. But then more we were growing into that second half, more he was growing, Kefren Ram. So I didn't understand that one, especially because McKennie, at the end, it's not that he gave something defensively, because it's a totally different player, and he was also not super great in terms of offensive phase. So I didn't understand that well. I understand perfectly the one of Savona Cabal. I perfectly understood also the one of Wea Vlahovic. I didn't understand it only 8 minutes after the goal. Probably I would have waited a bit more for Wea Vlahovic, because Wea was ready, yes, but Vlahovic just scored. And you are in that momentum of euphoria, I don't know, anyway. You know, you can do something more. You have it in you. You unlock yourself. You say, I can do something. You look at that. I just scored my penalty. And subbing him only 8 minutes was probably a bit too early. But then I understand the chance. Because if we are not able to find him, unlock the number 9 will be one of the studies that we'll do in the next coming days with Calm. But we don't find him. We don't find him. And it's not because of the movements of Dusan Vlahovic. It's because the way of playing of Thiago Motta that at the moment it's not working in terms of finding the number 9. Look, another thing that I didn't like is Kenan Yildiz. You put him as a number 9, not Kenan Yildiz. I like the performance of Kenan. But at the 68th minute, you decide to put Wea in on the left and Kenan Yildiz as a number 9 or a fake number 10 or fake number 9, whatever you want, there in that position as a striker. Then you keep him there. That's a choice that you made. That's a choice that you tried, that you trained in training session. So that means that you believe in it. Hey, you put it. You cannot, after 13 minutes, so at the 81st minute, deciding to keep him away. Not because I didn't see Kenan asking because he was tired or whatever. I don't believe in that. Or you go convinced and you transmit, you share that conviction with your team. You give them the belief that they can do it. Otherwise, I didn't like that sub. Not the first one of Dusan, because I understand it, but it's really Kenan Yildiz. You put him there and then you take him off. I didn't understand. I didn't like that one. And also the fact I already told you, we couldn't find our number 9, but I said the number 9, not Dusan Vlahovic, because whoever is playing that position before or after Dusan, we are never able to find him. And I will tell you, we didn't try enough centrally. Yesterday I told you, one of the keys of the game will be to find a turn Koopmeiners centrally between the line. Look, yesterday we involved him a lot, and I come back on Koop in a second, but we were not playing enough centrally. You see it here with that beautiful blue map. We played on the right, we play on the left, we never played centrally. Look at the image now. When the goal is coming, it's a penalty, of course, caused by Conceição. It's coming from an individual run from Andrea Cambiaso. You see there at the 57th minute, he takes the ball, he's alone. The players, as we are used to, they go really wide, while Cambiaso this time, instead of going immediately to Conceição, that would have been blocked immediately by 2 players, what is he deciding to do? He's deciding to carry the ball, to go alone, to go on his man, to dribble his man on the right side, and then instead of immediately opening on the right, he decides to continue going towards his central defender. The central defender is obliged to stop Cambiaso, because if he goes to Conceição, then there will be a highway for Cambiaso to go up. So he's a bit indecisive. What do? Do I point him or do I pay attention because the ball will go to Conceição? And you see that that ball finally at the end goes to the number 7 of Juve. Number 7 that is pointing his man. Why is he able to enter the box? Because it's not anymore that he has 2 players on him, but only 1 player at that moment. Then you have the other ones that are coming. They are a bit late and they are commenting that foul. But that's the thing that we should have done way more, because there was the space. Look at how we were lining up again in that first half, in that 4-2-4. It was working, it was beautiful, but a lot of time low in build-up, predictable, and always on the wings, never trying what Cambiaso did. If we did it a bit more, I believe that we would have scored that second goal. That we scored, yes, but it was cancelled. And then, of course, you need to pay attention also to the opponent, because the opponent you have, yesterday I told you before the game, Chevalier is an excellent goalkeeper, and he showed it again yesterday. And then a fantastic Zegrova that I spoke about all summer long. I tell you again, I don't regret. I'm happy with Conceição. That doesn't mean that I cannot like Zegrova. I love Zegrova. It's my crush, but I'm happy with Conceição. Yesterday, Zegrova was decisive. Yesterday, Conceição in that play, in that penalty one, was decisive. Then, a lot of criticism towards Cabal. Cabal out, change him, is not at the level for one mistake, for one huge mistake. A mistake that is costing us at the end 2 points because we are drawing, we are not winning. He's really, really, really to blame on that goal because Zegrova is eating him. As we have to use a term, is eating him yesterday. Look, I tell you that yes, he is at fault, Cabal, but for the rest, it was really tough. I told you yesterday, Zegrova was unstoppable, and he did really a beautiful job. Because at the end, how many times is he dangerous? Really, not only dangerous, beautiful, but really dangerous, productive. 3 times on that pass that we saw, that we will see now, on the goal of Jonathan David, 1. Then with a shot on goal that he dribbled Cambiaso and not Cabal, because it was Cambiaso in that position at that moment. Cabal was already out. And then there is another one where he's really eaten again. And then when it happens again, that was probably the most beautiful part of the game, according to me, when he sees again that Zegrova is passing him by, he's committing that yellow card. That was, according to me, fantastic. That was beautiful because he's learning fast, he's processing fast. That there you need to do a yellow card, and he did it yesterday. But when we are looking at first goal, that a lot of people are blaming Cabal for, it's not only Cabal. According to me, it's not only Cabal. Look at that. Yes, he's dribbling Cabal, but first of all, it's Conceição that is losing the ball there. What I told you, don't lose the ball, because that's what Lille is waiting for. Conceição is losing the ball. Cabal is dribbled by, too easy, and there he should have committed immediately the foul. 1. Thuram is not putting strong opposition physically there to block Zegrova. Zegrova is just walking horizontally from the line to the middle of the field. And then you have that pass that is arriving. And here you tell me, but Kalulu is at fault. Look at that. And then he slips and he's not able to take that ball, Kalulu. But you know why? Actually, after Cabal, it's Gatti that is at fault. Because Gatti, if you go back a few seconds before, Kalulu is trying to play that offside, to put Jonathan David offside, and then he sees that Gatti is actually absolutely not participating, communicating, and understanding, keeping us alone, because Locatelli is doing the job. Kalulu was doing the job. Well, Gatti is also there, keeping Jonathan David online. And that's why Kalulu is a bit shaky. What do? I take the ball, now it's too late, I cannot put him offside anymore, I need to track back. And that's where he loses balance, because everything happens in a fraction of a second. And then you have a Gatti that is trying to recuperate, but it's too late. But that's also something that we need to pay attention for. There, we see a lot of horrible mistakes. Conceição that is missing the ball, Cabal that is not able to stop him, Thuram that is not going physically. We have that slip of Kalulu, but ironically, it's actually the least at fault. And then we see that that Federico Gatti. Look, this is what I wanted to speak about the game. Oh no, I forgot. Koopmeiners, according to me, played a really intelligent game. He's not yet at the level of Atalanta. He's looking for that goal that yesterday twice arrived, unfortunately twice cancelled, but he's always doing the right movement. He's always doing the right movement. I see a Juventus with Koopmeiners that is better than a Juventus without Koopmeiners. Yes, he missed a few things. Yes, he needs to continue to grow, to improve, to reach the level of Atalanta. But yesterday I have not huge, I can blame certain things, but I have not huge criticism towards Scope. According to me, he did really a beautiful game, an intelligent game. The guy, from the moment that he will be in top form with a lot of confidence and a bit of luck on his side, because he's missing a bit of luck, I believe that the player will be a top, probably our best player. After Bremer that is not there, I think our best player of the field. So I trust this Juventus, I trust this Koopmeiners, I trust Thiago Motta, I trust the youth, I trust the project. But of course, now we need to win, because otherwise all these blah blah and analyses, you take them, you put them in the garbage. Winning, that's the only thing that matters. Grazie, forza, Juve.